Britney Spears' mom to the rescue. We got to talk about this and more, but before we get into it, hi best friend, and welcome back to my channel. If you are brand new here, my whole vibe is pop culture, messy bestie. Feels like we're on a FaceTime call and we're just hanging out, keeping each other company. I am so grateful and thankful to be here with you all. And best friend, we got to talk because, girl, Britney Spears' mom has just arrived in Los Angeles, and I have a lot of thoughts, okay? But before we get into that, if you are seriously in the market for a little company, please make sure you are subscribed, okay? Because so many of you guys are saying that you have unsubscribed, that you haven't unsubscribed, but it's like unsubscribed for you, so make sure you're subscribed, okay, best friend? Okay, so Britney Spears just sold her catalog. You know how I feel about that. I don't want to go back to that. I'm trying to heal from that, especially knowing that, you know, after so many things that are taken away from those alleged 200 million, she had like $70 million. That is crazy to me, but, you know, it just is what it is. You know, you got to trust that she knows what she's doing. But personally, I don't think that she is worth 200 million. I think she's worth $1 billion. But okay, girl, whatever. Anyways, listen. Britney's mom arrived to Los Angeles, I believe it was either yesterday or the day before. And first of all, girl, she was caught in LAX. Let me tell you something, okay? I live in LA, okay? And yeah, like you go to the airport. I go to the airport a lot. I have, in my 10 years of living here, I've seen paparazzi maybe, you know, a handful of times. Paparazzi don't just stand outside of airports, okay? There are paparazzi agencies, and I live here. I know this for a fact, okay? I had a friend who was a paparazzi, so I really want you guys to listen. In my opinion, allegedly, I don't believe that a paparazzi randomly caught Lynn Spears on a random ass fucking Tuesday in the LAX at 2 p.m. It just does not happen, best friend. Paparazzis, they have operators who are literally, their only job is to view private planes, okay? They do that. And so if they see Kylie Jenner's private plane touching down Britney Spears, or no, Britney doesn't have her own private jet, but like, you know, all the big guys, Taylor Swift, this and that, if they have all their numbers. So they, and you know, there's websites you can go and you can just see all the, you know, private jets going around. And so they do that. But a random fucking Delta flight with Lynn Spears on a Tuesday, you're telling me that paparazzi just randomly were there? Girl, bye. Girl, bye, okay? I don't believe that, not for a second. While paparazzis do frequent airports, okay, they're not checking for Lynn Spears. Hello? How the fuck are they supposed to know that Lynn Spears is there, bitch? Don't play with me. That's some craziness right there. But you know what, girl? You never know. Maybe he got lucky. Now, why is she in Los Angeles? Well, there are two reasons why I think. I don't believe she's here to, no, here's the thing, okay? When it comes to Britney and her mom, that has been one of the biggest heartbreaks I know for Britney. I know for a fact, because Britney's love for her mother was out of this world, out of this planet. I mean, the love that Britney had for her mom.
Very cool.
How does your mom, I just love seeing you with your mom so much and holding hands in magazines and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. How does your mom, when she knows that you're going through some things and you know, the things that you've talked about that have been tough, which I think you've handled very well, but how does she play as far as the support?
She's amazing. She is awesome.
Thanks, Mom, huh? Yeah. Okay, this is the toughest question I'm going to ask you. But everybody does want to know the answer to it. Ben or Brad? Because you know what? You told me, Ben.
I did?
You got emotional about your mom.
I did. Ew. That's stupid.
No, it's not. My mom is here, and I would be doing the same thing. Because my mom gets me through everything, too, so you can just make me cry with you. She's a good one, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Special.
You know, her first big purchase was Serenity, the huge estate she bought her mom. She always talks about her mom in interviews, and her sister, Jamie Can Spears, and just so much love that Britney had for these two. I know how we all feel about Britney's mom, but inside my heart, I wish that they could somehow get back together. And I'll tell you why. My mom is my best friend. And what Britney's mom, in my opinion, now this is just my opinion, but what Britney's mom allowed, or allegedly allowed, I should say, during this conservatorship was bullshit. Britney's mom should have been fighting day and night to get Britney out of what she was in. If I were a mother, I would not rest until Britney was in a safe environment where she didn't have to allegedly perform with a fever, where she wasn't allegedly, forced to do certain things, okay? And I have to use the word allegedly. You guys know this. So I wish that Britney's mom would have done more. Now, Britney's mom hasn't really spoken out about the things that she allegedly has tried to do.
For those of you who have read Britney Spears' book, then you might remember the part that after Britney goes through the conservatorship, at the very end, when her father sends her off to that 4-month stay at a health facility, she's the most heartbroken and damaged as she's ever been. And she ends up, for some reason, spending the holidays with her family, who she feels very betrayed by. Well, she talks about going home to Louisiana and seeing that her family threw away her dolls and her journals and all of the memorabilia that was in her bedroom. And she was just so heartbroken over that, because to her, her family just threw her away along with all of the stuff that she grew up in her childhood home with. Well, Britney's mother has responded on Instagram. Yet again, this is not the first time that Britney's mom has responded to Britney via Instagram, with several pictures of Britney's dolls, which we don't know if they are actually Britney's dolls, and a picture of supposedly Britney's journal with a caption that reads, "Britney Spears, I'm not sure who told you I got rid of your dolls and journals, but I would never do that. That would be cruel because I know how much they mean to you. They are special to me, and because of the years we spent collecting them, of course I still have your things, and I'm happy to send them to you if you'd like me to. Please let me know and know how much I love you." Then we've got people in the comment section saying, "Oh my God, do you ever learn? Just pick up the phone and call her." I'm not sure that Lynn Spears can call Britney. It's hard to really tell who has access to Britney at this point. Longtime friend Felicia, who was also Britney's assistant, they were really, really close. Felicia has also had a hard time accessing Britney. I think it's also possible that Britney keeps her distance from Felicia because Felicia is a longtime friend of Britney's mother. But let's not forget, we also had a moment late last year where Britney Spears' mother apparently visited her in LA. It was all documented by TMZ. It took about 30 minutes for Lynn to kind of go into Britney Spears' home and then leave. It seemed very planted by TMZ and also just kind of coordinated by Britney's people. Now, I'm not saying that Britney should maintain a relationship with her mother. I'm just curious if people actually have access to pick up the phone and call her. The only person that seems to have access to Britney at this point in time is Cade Hudson, who is her longtime friend / agent. He interestingly gets mentioned twice in Britney's book, very shortly, but very positively. At one point, she talks about Cade taking her on a fun, long, kind of spontaneous ride in the car. And then at another point, when she's talking about her 4-month stay in the health facility, she mentions Cade being one of the only people to call her and check on her. I don't know why, but these small, tiny mentions when I was reading the book did feel very planted, and it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I absolutely loved the Britney book because I actually really fully believe that she sat down with a ghostwriter and really shared her story and shared just kind of the details of her life. So I do in a lot of ways believe that this is Britney's story and that it's truthful. But being a longtime Britney supporter, I would also love to see her have access to other friendships and other people, and I just don't ever get to see that.
But I think Britney's mom dropped the ball. Now, do I think that Britney should forgive her mom? That is something that Britney needs to figure out. But I know how much Britney loves her mom, and I know how much heartbreak it caused her for her family to turn their backs on her in the time of her biggest need. So I think she's in such a difficult situation where she's like, I wish you would have done more, versus I miss you, I forgive you. How do you balance that? You got to be very, 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 healed, right? And so my humble opinion is, I wish that they would both go to therapy. I wish that they would both go to therapy, because Lynn, sometimes she also, I'm sorry, girl, but she looks a little out of it sometimes. So I hope that they could, and by out of it, I think she's heartbroken. I think she never imagined that this is how everything would have ended up with everything, with her ex-husband, with her brother and his girlfriend, and her crazy alleged abusive allegations, and Britney and Jamie Lynn. And I'm sure as a mother she's like, what the fuck, right? How did we go from here to here? So I'm sure she also needs a bunch of fucking therapy. So why not do therapy together and try and reach a point where maybe Britney learns to understand her, and where Britney shares what the fuck she feels to her, and Jamie and Lynn Spears sits there and listens to her pain, listens to her words, listens to her anger, listens to all of it, and really grasps the hurt that she caused her daughter. And just maybe then they could find forgiveness. So I hope she's here for that, to be very honest. I hope she's not here for nothing else, okay? I know that Britney's brother supposedly lives with Britney on occasion, so I don't know if he's there as well, or, she's here to see Jaden as well. So I just want for Britney normalcy. I want happiness. I want a grateful life for her, filled with light and hope and joy and peace. And yes, I know I sound like fucking Barney, but I don't give a fuck, okay, girl? Britney deserves peace. She deserves happiness. She deserves love. So I hope Lynn is here for the right reasons, and for that reasons, I hope it is some sort of therapy with Britney so they could actually heal. I've been in therapy for over a year, and I gotta tell you, for the first time in therapy, it has been incredible. It has been amazing, and I am so thankful for it, because I really, really didn't know just how bad I was raw dogging life. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you just need a professional to help guide you. And I think that they both need this, if there is room in their hearts for forgiveness and to move on. Before that, they got to really forgive and heal. So anyways, this sounded like a fucking Dr. Phil episode, but I love you all. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Why do you think Lynn is here? Let me know. You know who I really wish would get here and be with Britney? Felicia. I miss that lady so much. I feel like she loved Britney so much, and I feel like Felicia really was so innocently just dedicated to Britney, and didn't care about nothing else, and was just so loving towards Britney. I wish Felicia could just go and live with Britney. I swear, it would be amazing. But anyways, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Love to hear from you all, and I'll see you on the next one. Mwah.